I want to make a little bit of an interesting argument here about changes in fiction in terms of animation or movies as such. I do wonder whether it is something legit or whether it is more the stubbornness of old generation argument. Let me take an example here. You know the He-Man 2021 reboot that Kevin Smith is in charge of. I, for example, argue that it would have been more faithful to just have an Avatar sequels or something, because it would kind of fit his vision of what he want to make of the franchise. Because it will fit the masculine part of the females or males, and it all will fit his artwork and vision in terms of because Avatar is kind of like that to begin with. It's just a fiction of either it's about some empire or some political reasons, but it would at least fit the world that he would envision in a sense. Which compared to He-Man, it's more about you have feminine-looking females and you have masculine-looking males, and that's kind of the iconic stuff about He-Man. It's about beautiful-looking females and masculine-looking males, like just the noble type who kind of have good motives in an extremely goofy way, obviously. But that's the beauty of the 80s. And now I'm gonna mention another comparison here, just to add this a little bit more interesting here. Let's picture Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon is also another alternate name for beautiful fighters or beautiful warriors. So they are supposed to look very beautiful. So let's just say that someone had a vision of making them very masculine looking. Then people will complain because it's not iconic to the show. It's not how they looked like originally. So that's the interesting argument here. But I also want to address Metal Gear Solid 3 video game. I'm gonna actually link in the description. With the loyalty to the end. It's a very interesting argument in that video, because it's the idea that a new generation decides new values as compared to the old generation, and that's how values or politics works in a sense, or pop culture for that matter, is that there is old people that has other values compared to the new people that has other values. So that's what dictates politics and pop culture in overall. I mean, you could argue that being the change is what matters in terms of pop culture, but it is kind of an interesting argument that it is the time that changes, whether it's for the old or the new. So, for example, if it was 1,000 years ago, without technology, then maybe other values was dominant in a sense. As compared to the current values that is political or pop cultural values. So it's kind of interesting argument, and I also do think there's some valid argument that complaining too much make you seem like an old guy, really. Because you can try it, but I do think it's gonna go on deaf ears if people don't care and they just want to have popcorn and watch a cool movie and such. So that's kind of what I feel like whenever I complain too much about something. Even if I do think I have valid arguments of, well, it's not really faithful, and it's kind of, I think people, if they are entertained, they are not gonna care, and that's kind of what I think is the thing with the old generation and the new generation, with the anger of trying to be faithful, and then there's people who just people just want to have a good time, and yeah. I do think there's some kind of conflict there with the old people versus the new people. I do think there's just the thing really is I just don't think complaining too much is gonna help, because first of all, I do think you just need the right director to make the thing you need to make, and complaining usually, I think it attracts more people than actually hurting it. I think actually ignoring it is more likely to hurt it, but if people just have legitimate don't care about it at all, Like if it doesn't interest them, then that's actually what kills sales or interest for something. That's the reality of it, really. Um, so yeah, I just see kind of like an interesting thing with the whole old versus new thing. So yeah, I do think there's some legit good thing in the old conservative values of 80s. I think the 1980s had the best ideas really in terms of trying to bring together liberal and conservative conservatism in a movie industry, because I do think they match together very well with the values and such. In terms of animation and movies and such, I do think the 1980s was kind of like the best mixture of the both liberal world and the conservative world. Instead of it just being too much on one thing, but that's just my political analysis of a good entertainment. But in terms of whether they are ruining new stuff from the old stuff, I do think it comes across more as an old man yelling and the new generation not caring and just want to watch something. I do think there's more a thing there. So yeah, that's just what I want to say really. I do think it's just kind of an interesting thing to think about. So that's why I want to make this video. So yeah, thank you for listening.